It's FanMail Friday, and that means we'll be answering your questions live on an all-new Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. We are also now the #1 sports podcast network, which is pretty cool. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. He's Brian McKeon. Thank you for joining us for this live edition of FanMail Friday. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. If this is your first visit with us on YouTube, I have been hosting the show since 2018. I wrote for a number of different internet places before that. Brian joined me in 2024 and he hosted WFAN, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to know why we're hosting this show and why we're your experts on the Yankees, there's your answer. So FanMail Friday is something we do every week. We have a group of insiders who ask us questions. They get top priority on FanMail Friday. We also ask you for questions on YouTube. Those come later in the show. And this week, the insiders stepped up and showed out, Brian, because I couldn't believe all the questions that came in on Friday when I opened up the Insiders Club.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. I'm excited to answer these questions. I do have a question for you, FanMail Friday. Before I think now insiders deserve priority, of course, but I think hosts are the only thing that get priority over insiders. I'm breaking out. I have a pimple on my face. Is it a normal thing? Like, isn't that like a societal thing that like you start to break out when like new news is coming or like something's approaching or there's a change in the air? Is that a thing? I feel like the Yankees are closing in on signing somebody because I don't get pimples very often, and I've got one on my forehead. So I feel like we're heading towards something.
Well, I don't know, because if pimples meant that the Yankees would be doing something, they would have done a lot in my teenage years, and they didn't. They just did a lot of losing. So, so I don't know if that holds any water. So every week we start with the insiders, and every week we start with Betty, who's been asking us questions since the beginning of the 2023 season. So Betty's been around a long time. Here we go. Such a great guest you had this week. That was Keith McPherson. Check out that show if you haven't checked it out. You do a fantastic job bringing interesting people to the show. Brian, what is your chocolate lab's name? Our chocolate lab is Yogi, named after that famous Yankee. He watches baseball on TV and also sits up in an all-rise position for his treats. Stace, isn't your cat also named after a Yankee? Finally, what will you guys do if, heaven forbid, there's a lockout in 2027? Will there be a show?
Well, we don't lock out when the season is locked out. So we'll be here entertaining you guys the best that we possibly can. We will keep having guests on, and boy, topics will be sparse. But we
might rename the show Locked Out Yankees, but other than that, we'll be here.
That would be a terrific idea, actually.
Yeah.
My dog is named Nikki after Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue, my favorite band. And she is a female, not even 2 years old yet. The energy levels are still insanely high, and everything is at threat to get chewed up, including my health insurance card. So, yeah. So that is my experience. What is your cat's name, Stacey?
We had a cat named Mo. He passed away 2020, actually, but my brother found him in the backyard in 2005. He was an itty bitty, tiny, maybe 3-week-old puff of a kitten because he was a long-haired cat, and was abandoned by his mother. My brother took him in, and he was really my brother's cat. So yeah, that's the only cat that we have named after a Yankee. My original 2, Jack and Henry, were nearly Mattingly and Winfield. But
my original 2 dogs were named after Honeymooners characters because my dad was obsessed with the Honeymooners. So we had Norton and Molly.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but since then it's been only after our Motley Crue member. So yeah, glad that you appreciate the show, Betty, and hopefully you enjoyed more of the guests that are to come for the rest of the offseason. Let's go to David F. He says, my son and I will be going to our very first Yankee game in New York in 2026. We have never been to the new stadium. What series would you recommend, and which pregame activities are can't miss? Also, my son is a huge pizza guy, so I'd appreciate any suggestions in that area. I'll be honest with you, in that area, there's not much.
Right.
It's the Bronx. Yeah.
Yeah. There's I'm trying to think. I haven't been around the stadium in a long time. Like, I used to go all the time, and now I'm barely there, so I don't even know.
Food wise, it's not a culinary haven in that area. It's the South Bronx. You got to go into Manhattan. John's on Bleecker, if you're in Manhattan, of course, is like number one. L&B, I guess you could try in
Now,
Lower
what
Manhattan
series
and
would
in
you
Brooklyn.
recommend they try to come up for?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I honestly would not suggest April because it's still a little too chilly to be like enjoyable and stuff.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good series. It looks like in May they play the Rangers in early May. They play the Mets in mid-May in Citi Field. So I guess you want to see Yankee Stadium. But right after that they play the Blue Jays. So you could do a Mets Blue Jays, go to Citi Field and Yankee Stadium and have both. That's going to be a lot of fun for you too. I would do May. May seems to be the best month because June it can start to get a little steamy. July and August if you don't like the heat.
Although May is hit or miss because if you go to a night game in May, it might be cold.
It's
so
chilly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree. But food wise, not a lot. And pregame activities, I mean, stands is like just go to those classic Yankee bars that are across the street from the old stadium. Definitely worth doing. I would do the Yankee Museum in the new stadium. That's pretty cool. Pregame, Monument Park, obviously. I would get there early just to walk around and get food in the stadium because with the new innings and stuff being so much shorter, it's kind of difficult to do that. So I would suggest that. But pizza wise around the stadium, you're not getting much.
Yeah. All right, next question. Chris 40. I love Chris 40's name, and he talks about it here. Hey guys, in the military, my nickname was 40 that I still go by. Is there a nickname that you got in college or your time in sports radio that you still go by? Also, would you guys ever consider maybe doing the off-season a Zoom contest for a small number of listeners that would be like a meet and greet Q&A type of thing? Did that once at another pod, and it was dope. Love the pod, and let's go Yankees.
Is that the first time you've had to use the word dope to describe something?
I think so. Well, not since like the 90s, but yeah.
That was a thing in the 90s? I didn't know that.
Yes. Belle Biv DeVoe had a song called Dope. That girl's dope. Yes, dope was a thing.
I never had a nickname.
Really?
Never. No.
Do you know how many nicknames I have because of my last name? But I'll go through some of them. This will take like 15 minutes, but all right. Gonzalez, like Speedy Gonzalez, Gondolas, Galapagos, Guacamole, Godzilla, Esophagus, Epiglottis. Like these were all different names that people gave me. Gatsu, that was a big name in NBC, and that's a city in Korea, South Korea, by the way. And then like Stace, Stay, Sticks, because I was skinny and I played the drums when I was a kid. So I still have parents of friends 40 years later who still greet me as Sticks.
My friend JJ and his friends all call me Young Brian because I'm younger than all of them, but that's the only nickname.
Not like Mac or Mick or something from McKeon. And really,
no, and I don't like Bry. Like only people that are very close to me get to call me that. No random. When random people call me that, it bothers me.
Oh well, that's coming up later in the show. So just to give you a warning.
Oh, okay. Well, Gary says, "Hey, Stace and Bry. It's the last of pre-winter meetings episode. Let's do a fun question before things get nuts. I've been working on my Christmas lights, listening to your past few pods. What are some of your favorite holiday music, movies, TV traditions? What helps you get in the mood for the season? Thanks for all the hard work, as always." I got a controversial take on this.
It's funny with the nickname, though. Let's just go back to that. Like, if people who know me well call me Stacy, that bothers me. I would rather them call me Stace, because if you've known me for a long time, I feel more comfortable with you calling me Stace. If you don't know me for a long time and you call me Stace, I have an issue with that.
More females call me Bry than males. That's the only like nickname that I've ever gotten, and like it's mostly like girlfriends or my grandmother, my mother, and like girls that are friends.
Oh, and my family calls me by my full name, Stacy Rose, like I'm a Southern girl, and my mom calls me.
That is very.
And my mom calls me Rose. So if she calls me Rose and I answer to it, people are like, "It's my middle name." She likes calling me Rose. So
there you go. There you go. Christmas stuff. I got a controversial opinion for you here. I don't like Christmas music. Like I think it's so corny that it kind of. And I love the Christmas season. I really do. Like I'm doing the Christmas lights on my house tomorrow.
Does it bother you more because now it's like they start doing Christmas so early?
No, I don't mind that because I think honestly I think Christmas is too short. Like, I love the season, and the fact that it only gets to last a month is kind of sucky to me. But I Christmas music is just over the top corny to me.
I love it. That's why I love it.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. I love Jim Carrey's The Grinch, like not the animated version, like the actual acted out one. One of the great comedies of our generation. Like, it's a legitimate comedy, that movie. That one's great. Elf is obviously, like, Christmas movies I'm all for. I can't with the Christmas music. I like Bruce Springsteen's renditions are great. Like the few songs that he has, but like generalized, like Rudolph the Red, I can't. It just,
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's a controversial take, and I know people hate that, but like, I can't. It just drives me crazy. Oh, we have time for this last one, right?
Yeah. Well, we're going to answer it very quickly because. So the last question of the segment is from Eric S. Do you expect any big moves at the winter meetings?
No, because we never really get that. Yeah.
Right.
Other than like Aaron Judge a few years ago, it never really happens.
Right. Well, was the Verdugo thing at the end of the winter meetings and then Soto happened after they ended?
Yeah. But it's just so rare that like we get actual big news that like, I don't know if I think things will leak of like possible ideas that could happen that you weren't thinking of prior, but like actual news, I doubt it.
Right. I agree with that. Okay. Listen up, everydayers. Mark your calendar for Monday, December 8th. We have an exciting announcement that you won't want to miss, so stay tuned for that. And if you're not an everydayer, become one. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications.
How much does it cost? Just a quick question. How much
does it cost? Nothing to subscribe.
And during the holiday season, that's a pretty affordable price.
Yeah. So you hit the notification when our videos go up. You can also listen to us on every podcasting platform available. We have our Instagram is up and running, and send us your Spotify Wrapped, because few people have. So send us your Spotify Wrapped and let us know where we landed on your list. And Instagram is Locked On Yankees, all one word, easy peasy. All right, coming up next, more of your Fan Mail Friday questions.
What's up, guys? The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994, and with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. The groups were released earlier today, so it's all available. You can see matchups already. You can start getting all involved in the World Cup, seeing who's going to play each other in what group. It is going to be so much fun. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part of this tournament. That's why the Gametime app comes in so clutch. It finally gives fans the real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. And with Gametime, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open up, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. Puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup a realistic possibility instead of impossible. Here's what you do. You pull up the app. The layout makes it so simple to scroll through matchups and compare seat views. You pick a game, you tap a section, and you have your tickets loaded up within minutes. No confusion, no hunting through the fine print. So take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, every concert, or event with Gametime. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download that app, make an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. That's swipe, tap, ticket, go, Gametime. We want to thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your number one, your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the number one sports podcast network. We appreciate all of you guys, the listeners, everyone available, including the insiders who are still pumping us with questions in segment 2. And we'll get right to it. Miguel says, a while back, I seen you posted a picture on your stories, you wearing a Locked On Yankee shirt. Where can we get one? Love the podcast. Listen to it every day at 2 a.m. as I start my shift.
The shirts are not available yet.
Yeah.
I say yet. So just keep an eye out for something possibly in the future. But for now, it's just for us. I will say they're pretty cool. And I get lots of looks from people like, oh, what's that? So,
and follow us and reach out on Instagram because that's where we're most active, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really use Twitter or Facebook. So yeah, Instagram is pretty much, other than YouTube, is pretty much the best social media to follow us on. Or TikTok during the season. During the season, we're all over TikTok.
Yeah. All right. Our next question is from Insider Debbie. If, and big if the cap was to be passed/approved, what would happen to teams currently way over? If they grandfather that, obviously an issue. If you don't want to answer that, then I have a question for Brian. My daughter just adopted a rescue dog who is afraid of men. Any suggestions how to deal with that? Obviously was abused by a man somewhere along the way in his earlier days. He's almost 2. P.S. Love chocolate labs.
I love my chocolate lab very much. She loves ripping things up, but is like one of the most peaceful dogs you've ever met. Like so loving. How to deal. My sister actually has a friend who has a dog who is also terrified of men. A lot of women have this problem. So I don't know the exact advice, but I will actually ask my sister's friend because I know that is a thing out there. I would honestly like from my experience, just show them as much love as possible, and hopefully they'll love your family members that are men, because it is a difficult problem with dogs sometimes. Salary cap. I don't know about you. I actually don't know the answer to that. I don't know if it would be grandfathered in. I don't know if they'd use a prorated rate to the salary cap to see if they would be over regardless. I actually don't know. And I don't know if we'll have the answer to that until a lockout is until the parameters of a cap are introduced, because obviously you can't penalize teams for being over the cap before they knew a cap existed. That's not really teams. So we'll have to get the answer to that to you. But I actually, maybe we'll have a guest on that works for MLB that could give us a possible answer on how that would work. Maybe I'll look and see that, because I don't know if there is an answer yet. So, but it is a great question, Debbie. So thank you for that. Do you have any advice for her on how to deal with a dog being afraid of?
I've had cats since I was 12. I haven't had a dog since I was 12, so
it's tough. I will ask my sister's friend, because I know they deal with that with their lab. So I will let you know. Alex says, I don't like that the Yankees haven't really made any moves yet. I know it's early, but other teams in the AL East have. Question is, what do you think the Yankees need to accomplish during winter meetings?
I don't know.
think anything.
I don't think either.
I don't think anything.
I don't think so either. I mean, the Dylan Cease thing came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone was expecting the Blue Jays to make that kind of a move that early. The Sonny Gray thing, okay, fine.
Is it major? Yeah. There hasn't been a lot of major moves that have
been like the Orioles made a couple of moves like that were like not big.
Helsley's a big move. I'll give the Orioles that. Helsley's a big move.
For the Orioles, that is a big move, because they're not known to want to spend money, and they actually spent money on someone, so that was good for them. But like you said, it's early. I think it's too early.
And again, winter meetings are generally a place where like parameters of deals come through. Like teams start to like develop, like they start to rough draft ideas of, oh, this could be interesting. Oh, this guy's available. Didn't really realize that. Or how could we work something out? It's not really a place commonly where things do actually get done. It's just kind of like the rough ideas. Teams start flirting with ideas back and forth. So I don't think much needs to be accomplished in the winter meetings, to be honest with you. And I'm not really scared that they haven't done anything based on what the other teams in the division have. And again, as me and Stacey said, I think the Dylan Cease move is like a gross overpayment. So we'll see how that winds up working out. The Yankees could have sure done that with Dylan Cease and got him, but I don't think that's a major improvement for the for the Toronto Blue Jays, to be honest. I think it's on you, right?
Did I just read it's on you?
Oh, okay. Matt V says, with all the talk of a salary cap, what would your numbers be for a floor or ceiling? I think 100, 325. I think 100 as a floor, 325 as a ceiling would be a good start. Then they can adjust it over time.
Actually, I think it was me. Whatever.
Yeah, doesn't matter. I think 100's way too high. You're not gonna get teams that are currently in the 40s to start spending $100 million.
75, 70.
I think
65.
60. Yeah, I think like 6. Stacey, there's teams that are paying 40.
Yeah, well, like they need to pay more. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed. But like the Marlins are at like 35 million.
That's ridiculous. You need to be at least 65. 65.
I'd agree with you. 100, I think, is too steep. That's a high price.
If you have the cap at 325 and you have the floor at 60, that's ridiculous.
The problem with that is if it's at 100, that's when you're going to see teams that are going to start giving out like really stupid contracts. Like you're going to start seeing like the Orioles are going to sign, not the Orioles, but like the Reds are going to sign someone to like an $85 million extension for 1 year just to hit the floor. And like that's the problem the NBA has. That's why you see that's why you see players that you're like, he got a max contract. It's like, yeah, Nick Batum's making $68 million because the team had to hit the floor, and they have a bunch of scrubs with that one guy to hit the floor. I actually think 325 is too steep too. I think baseball, it's not going to work like the NFL. Like there will not be a hard cap.
Is
Like
300 too high?
I think it'll be 300 or like
Okay.
285. And what I think will happen is it's going to be an NBA cap. The NBA has a soft cap, which means you can go over it, but you pay penalties to go over it. I think they'll allow that. And the penalties are really steep, but like teams are willing to do that because if you're winning, then it's worth it. I think that's what baseball will do. There'll be penalties to go over it. Whereas the NFL has a hard cap where like it's a strict number that you cannot go over. I don't think Major League Baseball will work that way. So I think it'll be maybe like a penalized tax to go over it, kind of like the system they have now.
Right. All right. Our last question of segment 2 from Insider Natasha. We know Locked On is the #1 sports podcast network, but is your Locked On Yankees the #1 Locked On of all the baseball Locked Ons? It should be. Thanks.
That was a tongue tire. Like, is Locked On Yankees the #1 Locked On of all the Locked Ons in the Locked On podcast network?
I did a pretty good job reading it too, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. You didn't get tongue-tied at all.
Yeah.
We're up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to like download rate and like people that listen to us, like, yeah, I don't know our exact number. I know we get like a newsletter sent to us company-wide every month. I don't think we're going to reveal that information here, though, of like where it actually ranks and everything like that. But we are, let's see, I could guarantee that we're in the top quarter.
Oh, yeah.
That's safe to say. Probably more than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you're right. We should be. I agree.
Yeah. Thank you for, as long as you keep listening, you're doing your job, Natasha.
Yep. Tell your friends, tell your family, anyone you know is a Yankee fan. Tell them about
tell them
about Locked On Yankees.
Even if they're not a Yankee fan, we're good people.
Actually, that's true. We do have non-Yankee fans who listen to us regularly.
Yeah.
I have people reach out to me all the time saying, I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm a Red Sox fan, but I really enjoy your show. Or I'm an Astros fan, or I'm an Orioles fan. Like different people from different fan bases actually listen to our show, which is...
We welcome everybody.
Yeah.
Except Islanders fans. I'm kidding.
There are Islander Yankee fans, right? Yeah, I think so. I think my cousin's one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Make better choices.
Yeah, well, he grew up on the island. And he didn't become a Mets fan, which is kind of funny. So I don't know how that happened.
He made a good choice there.
Yeah. There was one good choice he made in his 65 years on Earth. All right, coming up, more insider questions on this live edition of FanMail Friday.
NFL Sundays move so fast, and one big play, suddenly everything feels different. And that's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, the defense light tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel will let you jump in on the moment. Live spreads and money lines, they adjust instantly. You can bet X touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. Keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. How about those New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins? Tua really struggles north of the Mason-Dixon line when it's under 40 degrees. Jets could be a solid bet. And if they go down, get involved live on FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Stacey, it's the holiday season. Everyone's spending a lot of money out there. Your energy bills are going up because you have your lights on. You're spending money on gifts for people. It can be a lot. And I want to ask you a simple question before we get into everything. How much does it cost to subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whatever platform you use?
$0.
It's free. Wow. So, during this holiday season where everything's expensive, something that's free, probably worth it. Just letting you guys all know. Back to the insider questions.
Wait, hold on. I think this might be the first time that we've had insider questions go all the way to segment 3.
As far as my recollection is, yeah. So thank you guys. You guys did amazing with this.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to do 2 FanMail Friday episodes. Think about
we
that.
Might.
Yeah. Ethan says, if each of you had your own radio station, what would you call it and what kind of music would you play on it? I mean, Stacey doesn't have to answer this one. My guess for Brian would be mostly Shinedown, and other than Duran Duran, I'm not sure about Stacey. Love the podcast, and according to Spotify, I've listened to 4,011 minutes of Locked On Yankees. God bless. Hoping it's higher next year.
I don't even think
Good
I've
work.
listened to 4,011 minutes of Locked On
Neither
Yankees.
do I.
And I edit the show.
Our voices are 4,000 minutes of it. I don't think I've listened to 4,000 minutes of it. God bless. I'm glad that you enjoy my raspy voice for 4,000 minutes a year. Yeah, your station is Duran Duran. There's no question.
See, here's the thing. Do you remember those? I don't know if they still have them. Those weird radio stations that came out at the end of like the 2000s and the beginning of 2010s, like Jack. Like they called it Jack, and it was just like random music, and you barely had DJs on it. It was just like a random shuffle of music.
I think I was doing like iPod Shuffle back then, but
yeah. I would call it Stace.
Okay.
And it would be, according to my Spotify Wrapped, I listened to mostly pop rap. Actually, Kendrick Lamar was my number one artist on Spotify. Duran was number 3.
I'm jealous of Spotify people. I'm an Apple Music guy, and I'm jealous of Spotify people because they get the Wrapped a lot better than Apple does. Because Apple tries to do like a quasi rap like Spotify does, and they're just wrong, like flat out like wrong. They don't count them. They don't count it right. Whatever their system is. Yeah, mine would be a lot of Shinedown, a lot of Motley Crue, a lot of Green Day. Those are my 3 like top bands.
You see, mine would be so many because I'd have disco, I'd have yacht rock, I'd have Philadelphia soul because my mom raised me on Teddy Pendergrass and the OJs and all that stuff. So I mean, my music station would be all over the place, but it would be mostly 70s to 90s.
I'm not an ignorant person when it comes to like overall life, but when it comes to music, I'm very ignorant. Like I listen to all rock, but it's like it's 60s to now when it comes to rock. I have a diverse taste of rock music, but that's it. Like I don't listen to anything other than rock music. So I would say like not very diverse when it comes to music taste. It's just all rock.
So we have.
You want me to read Evan's question because it's long and I feel bad. You don't like reading the longer ones usually.
Okay, if you want
I'll
to,
take a bullet for you if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Evan says, okay, here's a tough scenario for you. You have to win the World Series next year. You can draft anyone who has played for the Yankees in the last 5 years, and you can assume they will have their best Yankees year next year. For example, you can assume that Cole will repeat his Cy Young year next year. Basically, any drafted Yankee will repeat their best performance in the last 5 years. But you have to include yourselves at starting positions. You can assume that each of you will have a career at your absolute prime next year, but you have to be on the field. Who do you draft, and what positions do your guys play? I got a good one. I got a good poll. Keep going. Keep talking.
I have no idea. And I don't even know what position I could play because I see with one eye. I can't have balls flying at my head. Like I can't be on the field.
You're a terrible catcher.
I would be an awful catcher. The outfield things would be going flying by me. The infield, I might get hit in the head if a ball's coming at me because I won't have the right reaction time. Like
it's still 2025, right? So I'm not going on the 2026 season 5 years back. I'm going from 5 years back of 2025, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking DJ LeMahieu's 2020 season. If he does that for 162 and he hits 364 with a 420 on base, I'll take him leading off. Yeah, that one will work for me. That season was so good, by the way. Yeah. 10 homers, 27 RBIs in 50 games, 18 walks, 21 strikeouts, 364, 421, a 1.011 OPS. Yeah, I'm taking DJ LeMahieu's 2020 season.
What position would you play?
First base. I'm a lefty, or center field. That's where I played in softball, so I think I would just stick to that, honestly. But I'm a righty hitter, which the Yankees need. So
I'm a righty hitter too, but I also don't see out of my left eye in the ball cups.
So we're gonna throw you in left field. They already struggle there anyway. So
yeah.
Would you be worse than Jason Dominguez?
Yes. Balls. I wouldn't even be able to catch a ball directly coming towards. I just wouldn't be able to see it.
Not according to the Yankees.
You know what I'd look like? I'd look like Ricky Leday in David Cohn's Perfect Game, where the ball, like he nearly missed the ball. That would be me every single time.
As long as you caught it, we wouldn't care.
Yeah.
All right, you're up.
Okay, this is our last insider question. Can't believe it. Here we are. 3 questions in segment 3, and it's our last insider question from Sean P. up in Toronto. As a kid, the first Yankees jersey I purchased with my own money was a home 24 Ricky Henderson. I was wondering what both of yours or your first Yankee jersey was. Also, how do you feel when you see the names on the back of the jersey? I hate it.
I'm so glad that he put that there because that's where I was going with the answer. I despise names on the back of the jersey. To me, it screams like fraud fan. Like a real Yankee fan does not have the name on the back of his jersey.
See, okay, here's my thing. Real jerseys are real expensive.
They
They're
are.
really expensive. And I understand wanting to have a jersey and going between the two and being like, oh, should I spend 300 or should I spend 100 on one with the name? So I used to be like you, where about how dare they have the name? But I get that now. It doesn't.
Yeah, but
It doesn't.
you can go online and go to those China sites and get one that's like basically authentic without the name on the back.
I know.
I would never ever get a Yankee. I'd rather not have the jersey.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have any.
I
I don't have any. The first Yankee jersey that I had,
Mine was
I
a
wasn't.
Jeter.
I wasn't a jersey wearer. Like, I wasn't. I was in my 20s when they started winning the World Series, and, like, I didn't wear Yankee stuff when I went to games when I was younger. My brother
Mhm.
did, but there weren't really outfits for girls. I would have had to buy boys stuff. Like, the girl stuff didn't start happening until, like, the 90s and 2000s.
I'm much more of a hoodie guy at a game, like
Yeah.
in the
My
wintertime,
my
or like
first jersey was the Jason Giambi All-Star jersey in '02. That was the
I
first
like the
baseball
jerseys
jersey.
more, like the t-shirts with the Yankee logo
Yeah.
and the name on the back. Those I like, but actual jerseys, no, I think it's sinful to wear with the name on the back.
Yeah. All right. Now, before we move to YouTube, I have a message for Casey Cotreau and L. Diaz. L. Diaz, your comment was good, but way too long. And because the insiders had so many questions, I had to cut something out. So I cut your question out, or your comment out. So I apologize for that, but I had to make an executive decision. Casey Cotreau, Brian, you can answer this quickly. Favorite baseball player growing up, which I think we've answered this a few times, but everyone knows mine was Don Mattingly. Who was yours?
Growing up, Paul LaDuca, because he sounded like a Star Wars character's name, Count Dooku. Currently Sonny Gray.
Yeah. No, growing up.
Not currently, the last decade.
Just growing up.
Paul LaDuca.
Okay. All right, so we're finally on to YouTube questions. And this is from Paul Gould, 3267, who's from the UK. How cool is that? UK Yankees fan, love the show. Went to my first 3 games in the US in September, Blue Jays, Tigers, and then also at Boston. 0-3 record. Sorry about that, Paul. But did go to the London series games in 2019. My question is this: do you think Hal and Cashman are going to use the possible lockout as a reason to not spend big this offseason and stick with what they have?
Love that you're listening from the UK. I have a great appreciation for the UK. I went to the UK for the first time in May of last year and absolutely loved it. That London series looked really cool. Seeing them play in West Ham's home stadium, so that was pretty awesome. No, I don't think it'll stop them from spending. The general consensus around the league is that the big spenders will continue to spend through the lockout, and the lesser spenders will use the lockout as an excuse to not spend. But the general consensus around the league is that the big time spenders will not use this as an excuse and will continue to spend. The last question of FanMail Friday is going to be from Ellery Tom. Says you each have a ticket to the Golden Turnstile, which will take you to any New York Yankees game from before you were born. You can't do anything to affect the future. No betting. But you can be there to experience any Yankee game. Which would each of you choose?
Ooh, you have you have a much bigger range of before you were born.
Not really from before I was born, because what year were you born? This is not insulting, but like
74.
Yeah, so like there's not much great Yankee baseball that happens from like, I guess you could choose some of the World Series in you could choose Reggie. Well, no, because that's after you're born.
Yeah.
There's not many great moments that happen from 74 to 97, that you're gonna like
other than 96 and like
yeah, that's it. It's just 96. Like I could choose Reggie.
The Leyritz game in 95. There's some games from that point for you.
But that's a dull period of Yankee baseball. So like generally, I don't think there's a much of a gap there where we can't choose. I'm choosing like 62 Maris. Like that's one that I want to be at where 61 Maris where he breaks Ruth.
Yeah.
I could be basic and choose Don Larson, but I don't want to do that. That's too basic. I'm choosing Lou Gehrig. I'm choosing the Lou Gehrig speech game.
I would there was a game, my dad told me that he was at a game in 1961 where Maris hit a home run on his way to 61, and it looked like it was coming right at him, and then this guy dove across in front of my father and stole the ball from him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Gus was tall. Gus was 6'2". This guy must have had to like jump off of a a chair to get in front of my father. Yeah.
There's got to be like a game like where like Mantle had like 3 home runs and like it was like one of them was a walk off or something. Like
There was a non-Yankee game that I would have loved to have gone to before I was born. My parents were at the NLCS game in '73 when the Reds and the Mets got into a brawl. And they were sitting right by first base, and I would have liked to have, because my dad always told this story. Took my mom on a date night, and she didn't mind. He took her to Knicks games and Rangers games and Mets games and Yankee games, and he thought the third out was made, and he reached down to get his drink, and he looks up, and all of a sudden, everyone is fighting on the field.
that's great.
Like, that was an infamous brawl in the '73 NLCS between the Mets and the Reds.
I'll choose this because I know, like, I don't want to be like Larson and choose like a very basic answer. 1953 Yankees versus Senators in Griffith Stadium. That's the time when Mickey Mantle supposedly hit a 565-foot home run.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll go to that one. I want to see that in person. Because I want to be able to debunk, was it actually 565 feet? Or was it some like, because conveniently, I'm reading this right now. I actually didn't know this. The Yankee press secretary, Red Patterson at the time, he's the one credited with measuring it for 565. I'd love to know how he actually did that.
Did he walk it out? Like, how did he do that?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how truthful that one is, but that's one of the ones that I'd want to see live. I want to see how far that one actually is.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I mean, great job on all the questions. To the people we didn't get to, I apologize. And there was someone who sent me a question via Instagram that I meant to include in this, but when all the insiders get top priority, I apologize for the fact that they do, but there's a reason that they do. Yeah. So we will get to your question next week from Instagram, and next time try and leave it on YouTube if you can. I just feel bad when I leave people's questions out, but here we are. It's 37 minutes. So we have to, yeah, we are.
Same problem I had in high school.
But it's so amazing that there were 13 insider questions.
Yeah, you guys are incredible, really.
Yeah.
Like, build a whole show for us.
Yeah. And thanks to the people on YouTube, the people that I didn't get to, again, Casey Cotreau, El Diaz, and Kevin Sweeney, I apologize. Try again next week, and we will fit them in if we can. Yes. Okay. So thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. For your second listen, find the Locked On MLB podcast, where there is no offseason, although there is no offseason with us either. Sully keeps you up to date on contract negotiations, rumors, and everything you need to know to be the most informed MLB fan on the planet. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So that's going to do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKinn. We'll catch you guys next week.